there's a sense of pride when I produce corn and beans and I'm helping feed the world. Well, you know what? There's still a sense of pride that for every turbine out there, there's 3,000 homes being provided electricity.
There are very few industries that you could look at today in the United States where you could say that they have growth opportunities for 30 years, and those growth opportunities are going to be primarily in rural areas.
We see it as the next wave of technology that will contribute directly to minimizing pollution, minimizing the use of finite resources, minimizing the dependency that we have on countries that aren't necessarily favorable to our way of thinking, and have the ability to earn a revenue for the average person who happens to have a turbine on their property, to their neighbor who happens to be benefiting from more tax revenue going to the local school, to the nation being able to turn on their lights by the power of the wind.
Nach dieser kühlen Erfrischung geht es auch schon wieder Richtung Ajaccio.
Hello! Welcome to the Children's Creative Climate Camp. Not good enough.
We are working now in different workshops where they create theater, dance, and music and sculptures and models to show what are the problems where we come from. That's why we have found it very important that we're not doing this project alone in Europe or in Scandinavia, but we sort of get out on all continents in the world, because this project makes people think about what is going on with the climate. Why are we producing this much garbage and scrap all the time? And how could we use it, and how can we reduce the CO2 problems? And that is very important that we understand each other in that process, that we do not think the right answers lying in Europe or in USA or in China, but we have to sort of work it out in common.
My mom's a chef, my brother's a chef, and I've always been interested in out-of-the-way foods. And you can't get a lot of those foods, you know, from the grocery store or even at most farmers markets, and even at the health food stores, you know. And I started digging a little bit deeper, you know, just as an activist, and noticing that there's just a handful of companies that control 90% of the food that we eat, especially in restaurants and at the grocery store. And, you know, I think a lot of us want to make an impact in the world, a lot of us want to change things. Food seems like a logical place to start with, you know.
Umschlagplatz für alle Güter, die auf das Schiff oder vom Schiff wegtransportiert werden sollen, ist in diesen Tagen das Pooldeck. Alte Teppiche und ausgedientes Mobiliar werden in Containern gesammelt und von einem der 4 Kräne, die rings um das Schiff fest positioniert sind, wegtransportiert. Zwischen den Containern Großbaustelle. Der gesamte Boden wird mit einem neuen Belag versehen. Die Poolbecken erhalten einen neuen Anstrich, Holzverkleidungen werden erneuert und die Whirlpools werden general überholt. Während des Drydocks ist jeder einzelne Arbeitsschritt exakt geplant. Schichtarbeit heißt das Geheimnis für die zügige Fertigstellung des Schiffes.
Being on the road is what we do most of our lives. The reason is India, with its enormous population, still manages to move from one place to another is a big surprise to me. So if you're talking about chaos or chaos theory, it is working perfectly well in India, where chaos actually results in something positive. In spite of all the confusion, in spite of every individual wanting to go in a different direction, we still reach where we want to go without any problem, and in a fairly, let's say, short time. So Bangalore is now looking at other cities, how they have managed the transport, and they are also slowly changing to common public transport. In India, we have no expectation of anything. We accept whatever is there. Maybe it's the philosophy of the country, Accept whatever you get, make the best use of it. But Indian Railways doesn't promise you anything. They say, look, we'll make a basic promise. We'll take you there safely. No, don't you think that's priority? And we say, yes, that's what we want. So while you may find, let's say, a very formally dressed person sitting perfect inside the train seat, he doesn't want to look left or right and he has to, sit properly. You'll find a college student hanging out of the train, even though there are lots of seats empty. So you'll think, what is this fellow doing, endangering his life when the seats are there for him to take? No, that's the culture. He says, I am part of the system and I want to show people that I'm part of the system. So I will hang out, I will look at everybody on the road, I will enjoy the breeze, I will wave out to everybody, even though there is a place to sit. So I would say that it is the way they want to project themselves, the freedom of the spirit.